What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the week's hottest topics, you guys. So, these is the week's hottest topic number 95 for the week of April the 15th through April the 22nd, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into these hot topics, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop checking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss what's hot and what is trending this week, shall we? All right, you guys. So I think we're going to start up with this situation with Jonathan Majors, you guys. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what's going on with Jonathan Majors, then we talked about it a few weeks ago, right after it happened, when he and his, I don't know if she's still his girlfriend or not, but at the time, his girlfriend, they were in the back of an Uber or a taxi. He was supposedly texting another woman. She wanted to see the phone. He, abused her and he got arrested, right? So we're still dealing with that situation, right? He hasn't gone to court yet. So he's still, at this particular time, innocent until he's proven guilty, right? But unfortunately for him, in the world that we live in, that doesn't necessarily always work, right? Because at this point, Jonathan Majors has been dropped from his management company. They've let him go. He was supposed to go to the Met Gala. He's been uninvited to the Met Gala. It's just a lot of stuff that's going on with him this week. Like it just went from bad to worse, right? You remember he had that campaign with the army. They scrapped that. I'm pretty positive the Marvel universe is going to be done with him. Everything that he had building up, it's a wrap on that stuff, right? And I don't feel bad for him, right? Because I don't feel bad for him. I always find it quite fascinating when you think about someone who looks like this as opposed to someone who looks like this, right? There's a very different treatment, right? Someone who looks like this, they suffer the consequences that Jonathan Majors is facing, right? Because if it was somebody who looked like this, they may give a slap on the wrist, right? And they'd be like, oh, he's just this, he's just that, da 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 da. They would make it. I feel like they would make excuses for it, whereas it's Jonathan Majors and nobody's making excuses, right? Now, the one thing I will say is, whoever his attorney is, I really feel like he should fire that person because that attorney is doing him absolutely no favors whatsoever, right? Because remember, when this all happened, the attorney put out these text messages from the girlfriend, and the text messages didn't vindicate him. I don't know if that's what they were going for, was vindication, because it absolutely did not vindicate him whatsoever, right? So then this week, I saw that they put out this still images of the girl after the incident occurred, and it looked like she was in a bar or something, right? And so I was thinking to myself, so because he allegedly abused her, she can't go out to have fun with her friends? I really honestly want him to fire his legal counsel because once again, this legal counsel is doing absolutely no favors for this man. It's like you're just digging a ditch, digging a ditch, digging a ditch for this man because nothing that's come out has been very positive for him. It's all negative. And when I think about Jonathan Majors and his career, right? He was on the path to being Hollywood's it boy, right? And I just, even when he goes to court, right? Even if he is found not guilty, the damage is already done, and I don't think that there's anything that can repair his image. I honestly feel like he's gonna suffer a similar fate like Chris Brown, because Chris Brown was on his way to, doing, which I'm not gonna say he hasn't had a good career. Chris Brown has had a successful career, but he was getting to the height of his career when that situation happened with he and Rihanna. And if you look at it, she's run and flourished, really flourished, right? She's crossed over, she's done so much. Whereas he, again, he's still doing good things in his career. I just feel like that's probably going to be the same situation when it comes to Jonathan Majors. If he does continue to act, I don't see. Oof, I just see him doing straight to DVD stuff, BET movies, um, maybe even Hallmark. Nope, not Hallmark. Definitely not Hallmark. I just don't see him doing too much good in his. I just don't see that career going that far. Honest to God, I don't, you guys. But I want you guys to tell me, what do you think about this situation? Again, I definitely do believe he should fire that attorney. That attorney means him no good. That attorney is not in the best interest. You are wasting money, my boy. Wasting money. Go find somebody like, oof, go find somebody who can defend you, because this attorney that you got ain't doing you no damn favors. But once again, you guys, please let me know what you guys think about this Jonathan Majors story, and we'll discuss it in the comment section below. We'll discuss it in the comment section below. Let's pause here and let's go ahead and move forward to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about these recent shootings that's been going on in the good old U.S. of A. Right. So this week on the news, I think I've counted 4 total shootings that have happened in different places. Right. So the first one that I want to talk about, it's here in Texas. It's in Austin. Right. So it was these cheerleaders. I think they had just left cheer practice and they were dropped off somewhere. So they were going to another girl's car, right? So one of the girls just opened up the door and she got in the car. She saw a gentleman in the passenger seat. She was like, you know what? Sorry. Got in the wrong car, right? Got out. This person follows behind them and shoots them. It's just like, what? And I can't tell you guys how many times I have done that, right? Not in my personal car, like with these rental cars. There be so many times where I'll be walking out and be like, oh shit, I'm at the wrong car, right? Now that has happened with my car once. And the only reason why that happened with my car is because somebody had parked beside my car and we had this exact same car and the color. And I was like, oh wow. I'm like, oh, this ain't my car. So I was like, okay, because I had pushed my button, but my alarm, and didn't hear anything. I'm like, okay, that's kind of odd that I thought it was a little odd, but I was like, oh, this isn't my car. My car is right here. It's just kind of scary to think about it, that these girls didn't do him any harm. They meant it was an accident. They mistook your car for the car that they were supposed to be getting into, and then you go and do this. It's careless, it's reckless, and it's just, we talk about we talk about the gun violence a lot, right? And at this point, what is there that can be done, right? The Republicans are so deep into the NRA's pockets that they can't see out, right? There needs to be some kind of gun reform. I don't know what that is at this point, but something, right? So then the second story that I heard about gun violence was, I think this was a 6-year-old little girl and her dad. So the kids, and something that I did when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, one of my friends, he had a basketball goal and we would all go outside and play basketball, right? And the ball would go into different places, go from this yard to that yard to this yard. And we never had an issue of somebody want to come out trigger happy and, shoot at us for no reason. So yeah, the ball went into this guy's yard. He came out and shot the baby in the cheek and shot her dad in the neck. And now he's currently on the run. And it's just like, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I heard that he's a felon. So he's a convicted felon. So he shouldn't be in possession of any guns whatsoever. It's just like, what in the world is going on? It's not making a lot of sense to me. It's just not adding up. And then the next one that we have is the one where upstate New York, where the kids pulled into the drive. That all of these scenarios are things that happen pretty frequently, and it's not something to shoot people behind. It's not. It's your life isn't in danger. If you were in any kind of danger, yes, I can understand it. So the one in upstate New York where they were in the driveway and the homeowner came out and shot into the car and, killed the 20-year-old girl. It's just like, what is going on? Like each one of these stories this week in particular, it's just they didn't know, they didn't have the right, I think they went to the wrong place, right? Because they were looking for a party and they just pulled into this yard. And I think it was said that they didn't have good cell service, so they didn't know where they were supposed to go. But when they figured it out, they backed out of the driveway and started to leave. And then this fool came out and started shooting. Like, why are we doing this? What's the purpose? And I will say, I was watching The View yesterday, and Sonny made a very, 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 very valid point. I think it was Sarah and Sonny who said this, that all of these shootings here lately, they involve men. Men. Just beside the one that was a transgender, but all of these typically follow men. Now, in these stories that I'm talking about, you had a white man, two white men, a black man, and a Hispanic man. Take that however you want to take it, right? But if these kids here's my thing: if these kids were leaving your driveway, you weren't in any danger. If they didn't come to your door and try to break in, you were not in danger. Like each person that has done something this past week, your life was not endangered by anyone, especially the one with the little baby. You're not endangered by a 6-year-old, and you are a 6 foot, I think they said 6'3", 225-pound man, and this is a little baby girl. What is she gonna do to you? Bite your kneecaps? And then the teenage girls with their cheer outfits on, what are they gonna do to you? Like, let's just be real. And then the one that really just boiled my blood was the Jarl boy who was going to go get his siblings because his mom let his little brothers, I believe, go to a party. They weren't going to spend the night, so he was going to go get them, right? So I believe the street was supposed to be Circle or Terrace, but he ended up, whatever street he ended up on, it's the same name, it just ends with street, right? So he went up to the house and the homeowner shot him from inside the house. And then it's just this one, because I was watching and I saw that his grandson did an interview, and that his grandson is basically saying that this man was radicalized by the likes of Fox News, right? Which that's not surprising. He's an 84-year-old man. He's set in his ways. He probably listens to the BS rhetoric from Fox News, and just, for me, I don't understand how, we'll talk about Fox News in a minute, but for me, I don't see how anybody can watch that network. I don't. Like I said, we'll discuss them in detail later. But yeah, the 84-year-old man, he shot the Jarl boy. Thankfully, he's okay. He's gonna survive. I will say a big F you to the asshole, to the racist asshole that shot him. I don't know why they won't say that that's a hate crime, because it's clearly a hate crime. But a big F you to him and a big F you to those neighbors who, when this young boy, 16 years old, came up to you guys asking for help, y'all didn't even try to help him. That is fucked up, if you ask me. Fucked up. But it just goes back to what I was just saying a few minutes ago. Like, I'm just not understanding what's going on. Why is everybody so trigger happy? Because that's really what it's giving. It's giving trigger happy. Because what are y'all shooting for? The old racist. You weren't in danger, sir. I know you want to say he was jiggling at your door. You weren't in danger. The man in New York, you weren't in danger. Those kids were leaving. I mean, that happens to me quite often too, where I pull into somebody's driveway just to turn back out and turn around. I do that. I've even had issue, you guys know that I do Uber part-time, right? I've even had problems with that where my map will take me to the wrong place and I'll be at the wrong door. I had that happen before too. So it's scary when you literally just sit down and think about all the things that are happening. It's really scary, very scary. So you have to wonder now, when I go outside and if I'm at a public place and I'm going to my car, I have to 100% make sure that this is my car and that I'm not accidentally touching someone else's car who may try to pop me. Or with my kids, I got to make sure that my kids, when they playing outside, that none of their stuff goes into another person's yard. So that way my kids and I don't get shot. Or, oh my God, I better make sure that I know exactly where I'm going so that way I don't pull into somebody else's driveway and turn around and get shot. Or when I go to, I don't want to go to the wrong house and knock on their door, and instead of them just saying you're at the wrong house, they just blast me. Like, listen to how that sounds. Listen to how that sounds. It's sad. It's very, very sad, and I just don't know what needs to be done to stop this kind of senseless stuff. The one positive thing I'll say is, outside of the young lady in New York who died, everyone else is fine. I know that there's one of the girls here in Texas. I think the last time I saw something, she was in critical condition, but I think that they expect for her to make it. But I will definitely keep an update on that as we know more, right? But that's really all I got for that. Let me know what you guys thought about all of that, and we will discuss it down in the comments section below, you guys. So let's go ahead and move forward. All right, you guys. So the next thing that I want to talk about, I saw this I believe I was on Twitter the other day when I saw this. It's this video of this teacher, right? So I think she took the young girl's phone from her, right? And the girl was all up in her face, wanting her phone, and the teacher, I think it was a substitute teacher, by the way, she was telling her to get out of her personal space and stuff like that, right? So the little girl kept coming towards her until finally the teacher just said, fuck it, and hauled off and beat the hell out that little girl. So I saw so many mixed reactions about that. And I'm going to tell you guys my reaction. And then, actually, no, we're going to talk about, back in the day when I was in school and where we are today, right? So, because when I was in high school and middle school and high school, right, you couldn't have a cell phone, you couldn't have a pager. I remember it very vividly. My senior year of high school, my cell phone actually went off in class, and one of my teachers came and she was like, "I need your phone." And I was like, "No, you're not getting it, right?" And she was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna write you up." And I said, "Okay." I said, "My phone is and what it was is my phone was in my backpack, so you could just hear it vibrating. So it wasn't visible. She just wanted to take my phone because you could hear it." I'm like, "I'm not giving you my phone because I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I can't help that my phone just vibrated. Like, it's on vibrate. It's not on loud. It's on vibrate, right?" So she was like, "Well, I'm gonna call your mother." And I was like, "Well, she's on the phone." because that's actually who was reaching out to me, was my mom. My mom was reaching out to me. No, she wasn't. Was it my mom? No, it was not my. I forgot who it was that was reaching. Somebody was reaching out to me, right? But I called my mom because that's what it was. Somebody was texting me, but I called my mom because I was like, "Mama, this woman's been trying to send me to the office because I won't give her my cell phone." And she was like, "What happened?" I said, "It went off." I'm like, "It's out of sight, right? It's out of sight." She didn't even know whose phone it was. She just heard it, and I knew it was mine, because I mean, it was right there beside me in my backpack, right? So the one was like, "Well, I'm gonna call your mom," and I said, "Well, she's right here on the phone. Do you want to speak with her?" "I'm gonna call your mom." I said, "She's right here on the phone. You can talk to her right here, right?" So now I don't know how this was in everybody else's high school and middle school, but for us in high school, now originally you would have to, at first, like my freshman year through I think my freshman to sophomore year, they would take your cell phone or whatever device you had, right? And the teachers would keep it until the end of the year. I don't know why they felt that they had that. I don't know why they would think that if that's something that my mom or my dad pays a bill for, you're not keeping that until the end of the year, right? So they got to the point then where we would have to pay $15 to get our belongings back, which is even dumber, right? But never when I was in high school did I ever feel like, I never stepped to any of my teachers or principals or anything like this young girl did, right? I did back talk. I don't deny that. I have a mouth on me. I don't deny that. There was only one time that I had an issue with a teacher, and it was my social studies teacher when I was in the 7th grade, right? He was trying to. So one of our computers in the classroom, it actually turned on by itself, right? That computer just came on, and he was like, turn it. He told me to, I couldn't even really. It didn't even. Here's the crazy thing about it. The thing was plugged up, but it was one of those Macintosh computers, those Macintosh computers that came in different colors that you could see through. This man gonna sit here and ask me to turn it off. I said, but it's one, I didn't turn it on. Number two, you have the keyboard. We don't. So how am I gonna turn this thing off? So then he comes over me and he starts reaching over me. I said, you don't have to reach over me. Like that ain't like you're invading, and kind of like with this young lady. I told him, you're invading my personal, you're all in my space. Like his whole body was right here in my face. I'm like, his name was Mr. Ruts. We called him Mr. Nuts. I was like, Mr. Ruts, you are like really reaching all over me. You're directly in my face. I'm like, can you move? And he said something to me, and I was like, and I said to him, like, I could hit you if I wanted to, like, cause you are you're this close to me, like I can feel you in my face, and honestly, what was in my face was his crotch, like his crotch was in my face, and I'm like, Mr. Rich, you have your whole crotch in my face, and I don't want move, because he was literally reaching over the desk to turn off the computer. I'm like, you have your whole dick and balls in my fucking face. Like, please move, sir. And I told him, like, he got mad and wrote me up because I told him I'd knock his ass out. And I really did mean to, like, move, dude, move. You are in my face. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, and that was always the issue with me and my teachers. They always felt because they were the adults that I owed them respect. And quite that one, and him, and another one, they did nothing but disrespect us. They talked to us any kind of way. And I'm the person, I'm always been of this belief that if you want me to have some respect for you, you gotta treat me with some kind of respect. I don't care if I'm younger than you. Treat me the same way. Ooh, because one of them, me and her had it out because she called me by my last name. She called me by my last name. I'm like, but my first name is. I told her what my first. I'm like, you know what my first name is. why do you insist on calling me by my last name? Then the ultimate disrespect was when this woman had the audacity to try to tell me about my family. I think that was like the final straw for me with that woman, because I actually went home and I told my mom, I was like, this woman keeps arguing with me every day about where my family is from. She's like, your family, because she was like, now granted, she didn't even know that I didn't even, and that was I think that's when I got older, I found it even more disrespectful because she did not know that I actually didn't know anything about my biological family. She's like, your family is from Palestine. I'm like, no, my family is not from Palestine. I'm like, my family's from Jacksonville. So this woman, and mind you, I am 13 years old, and this woman is continuously arguing with me about where my family is from, which she actually was correct. She is correct. Part of my family is from Palestine, Texas, but I didn't know that at that age. My mom had not sat down and told me that she was not my biological mother. Like, here you are arguing with me, making yourself look stupid and foolish. So yeah, I've never disrespected a teacher unless they give me disrespect, right? So with this little girl, I feel how I feel is she rightfully got her ass whooped, right? Rightfully so. Don't get in there. That is a grown ass woman. She took your phone. Call you, like when your mom come to pick you up, tell your mama, hey, she took my phone. Let's go in here and talk to her, right? Have your mom deal with her, not you. Not you. Because again, like I said, even when I go back to what I said in high school, where the teacher wanted to take my phone and I told her no because it wasn't visible. That was the thing in high school. That was the thing my junior and senior year of high school. You could have your phone in class, it just could not be visible. And my phone was not visible. My phone wasn't visible, so this woman just wanted to take my phone because she heard it go off. It wasn't visible at all. Not visible. You just want to take my phone, and I told her no, and she wanted to write me up. And then when I did take it out, because she said, I want to call your mother, I'm like, I'll call her for you. She's on the phone. You can talk to her right here. She did not want to do that. Like, the reason why I called my mom is because I knew she had just gotten off of work, and I was like, you might want me to, let me call my mom, because if you call her, I'm pretty positive she's gonna go off on you when you tell her why you're waking her up out of her sleep. I tried to tell her that. She was like, no, I'm gonna call her. I'm like, but I'd rather it be me, because she ain't gonna go off on me. She'll be a little bit pissed that I'm waking her up, but if you wake her up behind my phone, she's gonna be really pissed that you trying to take my phone that wasn't visible. And then the woman did write me up, and it was somebody in the class. I said, because we walked out the class together, and I said, give me the referral, and they were like, I can't do. I said, give me the damn referral, Miss. I don't care what she says. Give me the referral. And they finally gave it to me. I said, thank you, and I kindly ripped it up, and it was the craziest thing was. It was almost 3 o'clock when this happened, and I remember it like it was the end of. This was my last class of the day, and it was like 2:50 or something, right? And I said, give me that damn referral. I said, I'm not gonna go to no office at almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. School is almost out. I'm not going to the office. Give me the fucking referral. Rip it up. Tell her I took it from you, and it is what it is. And so. And even when I went back to class the next time, she didn't say anything to me. She let it go because she was in the wrong. So, I said all of that to say this little girl, there's so many different things she could have done. One, give her the phone, right? I don't know what the rules are for the kids today. If she asks for it, give it to her. Could that same thing be applied to me with my teacher? Absolutely. But again, I wasn't in the wrong because my phone I followed the rules. It wasn't visible. You could have it. It just couldn't be visible. This little girl, I don't know what it was. But I think she gave the woman the phone, but I think she just wanted to go get the phone back. And that was the issue. Let me know what you got. Let me know what y'all think about that story in the comments, and we'll discuss it. So let's pause here and go ahead and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is this Love and Hip Hop drama. So I know that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is currently filming for season 11. I don't know if Love and Hip Hop Miami is filming, but I would assume that they're filming as well, right? So the first thing we're going to talk about briefly, not even briefly, the first thing we'll talk about is the situation with Safari, Erica Mena, and Amara La Negra. So you guys know Amara has her twin daughters, right? And I think they just turned 1 year old, right? So she had a birthday party for the girls, and Safari was there. And Safari presented the little girls with 2 Rolex watches. And I was like, wow, that says a lot about him as a man and him as a person. You got 2 children with Erica Mena. I hadn't saw you buy your, now I don't keep up with Safari. I don't follow him. So I don't know what he does for his kids, but I know that Erica was pissed. So if she was pissed, that means, my assumption, that means he don't do that much for them kids. I feel like he probably give her that child support that she got, that she was upset about. And I think that that's probably the end of what Safari does for his kids. That's my assumption. I don't know if that to be true. That's alleged. I ain't saying that it's a fact. Now, Erica Mena is not my favorite person in the world, right? And I kind of just want her to heal herself and move on with her life outside of Safari, right? He's a clown. He's a fuckboy. And honestly, to me, he's a little bit of a loser, right? So I wouldn't be too focused on him. Now, when it comes down to him and Amara, because we saw, now mind you, this is a birthday party for her daughters, right? So I saw a video that Shay Francine and Bucky Johnson was recording where they dancing, slow dancing, and then they embracing a kiss. I was looking at it, I'm like, Amara, girl, your picker is so off. You have the worst taste in men. The worst taste in men. Because MJ, I thought he was a user. Alan, is he in your kids' lives? And then you get with this bum right here, Safari, who, girl, do you think that he gonna treat you any better than he treated his ex-wife? I mean, God. The thing for me when it comes to anybody if they have kids and I get in a relationship with you, right? You gotta treat your kids you gotta be a hands-on parent. Cause I just couldn't be with someone who is a deadbeat, that you ain't there for your kids. You don't do nothing for your kids. And I got kids. I'm like, I don't want you around my kids. Hell to the no. You are not a good example for nothing. No. The fuck? Hell to the nah. You will not see my kids. I don't want you looking at my kids. I don't want you breathing the same air as my kids, right? Amara. Like, I still love Amara, right? It's so interesting because when Love and Hip Hop Miami first came out, Amara had so much promise and so much promise with her music career, right? And I know she's done music, but I know her more for the antics from Love and Hip Hop than I do for her music. And I know some of her music. I listen to some of her music on repeat, but this show, we know you more for the show than like your actual music, and it's very sad. It's very sad. It gives court gesture, just saying. My personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And since we're on the role of Love and Hip Hop, right? Again, I know Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, I know that they're getting ready for their 11th season. And I know that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is moving from VH1 over to MTV, and they're trying to go a different route where I think it highlights the people, the women, in their businesses and their careers. So they're going in a different route. Will I be reviewing it? Absolutely not. I'm done with Love and Hip Hop. And it pains me to say that I'm done with Love and Hip Hop, because when I first started this channel, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Miami, Hollywood, and New York, those are my shows, man. Those are my shows. Especially season 5 of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Man, I will never forget. That season was the best for me. It was funny throughout. And then, season 6 happened. It was boring. Then we got the pandemic. But even Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, man, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta back in its heyday was just amazing. Oh, I think I might add that to my Throwback Thursday reviews that I do, because Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was a key back in the day, right? So, this Love and Hip Hop Atlanta drama, this involves E-Money, Scrappy, and Erica's daughter, Erica herself, and the Bambi and her hooves. Shout out to Mama D for that one, right? So, earlier this week, I saw that E-Money, I really wish they would call that girl her name. It's E-Money, not E-Money. But E-Money, she was on live. And I guess the people were asking her about Bambi. You guys know that Bambi and Scrappy, they're going through their divorce, right? So E-Money said to people, stop asking her about her stepmother, right? Stop asking me about that lady. So then, I don't know if it was on Baller Alert, Shade Room, or wherever, Bambi came under one of the comments and said, I guess I am that lady. Now, it wasn't nothing negative that she said, but then Erica Dixon came in and had some stuff to say. I was like, oh my God. But for me, I feel like Erica had been wanting something to say to Bambi. I mean, we don't really know what's been going on. And wait. Here's the interesting thing with that. Because you guys remember, Bambi, Scrappy, Mama D, and I believe even Erica were on the very first season of the family reunion. Remember, at one point it was just Mama D, Scrappy, and Bambi. But then Mama D invited Erica down. And remember, they were still having their issues. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't they sit down and kind of iron that stuff out? So I'm wondering, where is this all coming from? I know this can't be over Scrappy, because Erica and Scrappy ain't been together in years, because him and Bambi been married since what? 2018, 2017, something like that, right? So I'm just like, where is this all coming from? So it just got ugly. Then E-Money came back out talking about the fact that, you can't even take care of my siblings. My little sister's hair is falling out. What kind of woman has, 3 kids that she lay up with a man and have 3 kids that she can't take care of? I was like, oh my God, she's only 18. I was thinking to myself, you heard that from either your mama or your grandmother, because you are 18 years old. I mean, I know you know about sex, but girl, what you know about that laying up with a man? Okay. It kept snowballing, and it just gradually got worse and worse and worse, right? So that happened. Erica said what she said. Bambi came back out and played this recording that she had of Scrappy, talking to Scrappy about the fact that I guess at one point E-Money and Erica had a little issue and the police were called, and she showed the police report. Erica made a mention to the police report, but she said she still has her kids. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So then Mama D chimed in. It was just a mess. And I know that yesterday Bambi came out and she apologized for it. I'm like, girl, it's a little bit too late for that one. It's a little too late for that. Ugh. This is a mess. And I'm just wondering how much of this is for storyline. Because, I mean, you always know when Love and Hip Hop is in the process of filming, right? because some of the stars of Love and Hip Hop, any franchise, they do stupid stuff in the media, and then you see it and you be like, oh, I get it. The cameras are back up and rolling, so they are doing all of this for a quote unquote storyline. Let me know what you guys think about the situation with E Money, Erica Dixon, and Bambi. And also let me know what you guys think about Safari's old corny ass, Erica Mena, and Amara La Negra. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so the next story we're going to talk about is the Fox News situation. So remember, I was just telling you guys about it when I was talking about the shooting, right? So you guys know that Fox News, they were being sued. They had a defamation lawsuit against them from Dominion, the voting systems from the 2020 election, right? So you know that Fox News had been going around and spreading this misinformation that Dominion, that the Dominion systems stole the election from Chester Cheeto, the Oompa Loompa, the Orange Man, right? Because you remember, they made so many false claims, right? Remember, because if you guys remember from the January 6th hearings, there was a black lady, Ruby, and her daughter, who they pretty much are, they're poll watchers, or they're people who help at the polls. They've been doing this for some time, right? You remember at one point they were trying to say that you could see them pulling out some stuff from up under pulling out some bins in the middle after the election was over, and who was also saying that when who voters were going in there to vote for him, it was checking him. They were checking it for him, but it was supposedly checking it for Joe Biden and not for him. So who voters were voting. It looks like they were voting for, but that is bogus and bullshit. Like because actually, it's so interesting. Actually, in this last election that we had, you can't vote. Like, I don't know if you guys can, but I know for me here in Texas, when I went to go vote, I usually just vote straight ticket, right? This last election, I couldn't vote straight ticket. Like, I had to go through and individually pick who I was voting for. It wasn't no straight Democrat, and it wasn't no straight Republican, and it wasn't a straight, you had to literally go through and vote, go down each row and hand select who you wanted to vote for, right? So that's what he was saying, that when his people were going in to vote for him, instead of it saying, instead of the votes counting for him, it was counted for Joe. Which, how? Because even when you cast your ballot, when you get down to the end of it, it'll show you who you voted for. It'll print your thing out and you'll insert it. So that was bullshit, right? So Fox News was one of those news stations that was facilitating this lie that the election was stolen, right? And blaming Dominion. So I think Dominion, if I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but I think it was $1.4 billion that Dominion was suing for. And this week they had, the jury selected, right? Now, before the jury can even do anything, Fox has settled with Dominion for $757.5 million. I was like, damn. And on top of that, Fox still does have another lawsuit against them. So this isn't the end of their legal issues. This is just putting a bow on top of one of them. And so what I was talking about earlier, when it comes to people who watch Fox News, I just don't know how anybody can sit there and listen to those damn lies. Everything they say is a bullshit lie. Like I told you guys before, in my office space, in the building where we work at, the TVs are on nothing but Fox News all day. And I take 2 breaks, and I take my lunch break. So I take two 15-minute breaks throughout the day, in the morning and in the afternoon. And I just go around the building and walk around, right, for 15 minutes. And they just come up with the most outlandish things. And even when I go to the gym, the gym tries to be neutral, right? They have CNN on one. They have CNN. They have Fox News. They have other TV stations, right? ABC, NBC, TNT, and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't understand how anybody can sit and listen to Fox News. Those people are not. And then when they were talking about they're not journalists. Well, what are they? Like I can't sit there and listen to the likes of a Fox News. It just ain't for me, you guys. But let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section, and we're gonna pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna send up a prayers to Jamie Foxx, you guys. So this story came out last week when his daughter Corinne had posted that he was in a hospital after a medical complication. Now today we still don't know what that medical complication is. I know he's down there in Atlanta because he's filming a new movie, and I think it's actually been over a week now. And like I said, we don't really know what's going on with Jamie Foxx, but everybody has spoken out about him, and so much love, concern out there. And I'm going to lift him up in prayer. Now, before I did come on here, I did see a report that says he's doing better than what he previously was doing. So we're just going to hope that, he continues to keep getting better and better and better. Because, I mean, God, he's very young. Jamie Foxx is in his 50s, right? I think he's in his mid 50s. I could be wrong, but yeah, we're going to keep Jamie lifted up in prayer, you guys, and we're going to pause here and wrap up Hot Topics. All right, you guys, so the last story that we're going to talk about is our girl Monique. So, Monique, I do want to say that I did watch her comedy special that is on Netflix, and I will say for me that I did enjoy it. I did laugh quite a bit, right? I will say she cussed a whole lot, and that's coming from somebody who definitely cusses a whole hell of a lot, right? But I thought it was good. It was funny. Let me know if you guys watched it. Let me know what you guys thought about it, right? But after the comedy special came out last week, we found out that Monique is actually suing CBS and Paramount, right? So she's suing them behind the Parkers for unpaid royalties. And I thought, and when I saw her start, the one thing I will say about Monique, you may not agree with her methods and the way that she does things, but one thing you can never say is that anybody's going to run over Monique, and that's just not going to happen, right? So, like I said, they're not getting paid their royalties, and I think that's crap. So the network and the production, like everybody else, y'all gonna make the money because y'all know the Parkers is in syndication. So y'all want to make the money from the show, but the talent, the writers, the producers, and all that stuff, they don't get their money. I wholeheartedly side with Monique. They need to get off their asses, because I mean, it's on Netflix. The Parkers is on Netflix. The Parkers is on, I think it's on either Bounce. It's on so many different networks right now. And so y'all make the bulk of the money, but because with these shows being, especially with it being on like these cable channels where there are ads running, there's ad money that's coming, and y'all are getting all the money and they're not. Please make that make sense, how that's even logically fair to them. So I'm out here for Monique and Sydney suing them for what they rightfully deserve. And I know Countess Vaughn, she spoke out too. So I hope they all get what they deserve. I really do. Give those people their money. But that's all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about all these topics in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on, you guys. Share the video. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. Guys, we do this every single week, same time, same place, same channel. I know I haven't been consistent with it, but I'm going to try to get better with it. And I will catch you guys later. So I still have to do my review of Love After Lockup. I still am going to do Married at First Sight, and I also was asked by a subscriber, I'm just joking, but I was asked about Chasing Dallas, so I got to rewatch Chasing Dallas. Shout out to Tracy for that one, because she said she had a bone to pick with me about Chasing Dallas. So yeah, I got a long week. Then I gotta watch Power. So yeah, you guys will see everything by tomorrow. So Power, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Chasing Dallas, Love After Lockup, and Married at First Sight, and Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Good God of hell, why do I have 6 videos? But I'll see you guys for all of them later. See you guys in. Bye guys.